Okay, this question comes from a grade 3 student, page 418, questions 3 and 4. So let's go to page 418. There you see it, 418. That's why it's important for the person to let me know the page number. And questions 3 and 4. Okay, we can't do two questions at the same time, so we're going to do number 3. Number cube is rolled. Okay, I understand that. And I understand that that is a number cube. And it's going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 as the outcomes. So player A gets a point if 1 or 2 shows. Okay, I want to go to my paper. Okay, so player A, my usual white paper or whiteboard isn't working. So here are the outcomes: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And they're all equal chances. Player A gets a point if it's a 1 or it's a 2. All right. That's what it says. Player A gets a point if 1 or 2 shows. So the trick is to put this sentence into something that you understand. And I understand this. Player A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, gets a point. I circled the 1 and 2. Player B gets a point if 3, 4, 5, or 6 shows. Well, that's not fair. I can tell you that already, because player B has 4 chances to win. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So player B wins if it's that, 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 or that. Okay. Now let's see what the actual question is. Ugh, where's the question? A number cube is rolled. Player A gets a point if 1 or 2 shows. Player B gets a point if 3, 4, 5, or 6 shows. There's no question. That's hilarious. Okay. I've looked at it. Am I missing something? I don't think so. I think the line that's missing is probably underneath there. They want to ask, is it a fair game? And you would go here and say, no, it is not a fair game. So I think the book is missing something there. Very good job of recognizing. And then you would say player B has 4 chances of winning. Player A only has 2 chances of winning. So player B is going to win almost all the games. And you would write that. Okay, so let's move on to the next question then. This is a different whiteboard. I don't mean no likey. Oh, here it is. Move you tool. Okay, there you go. Then let's go back to the next question. Question 4. Suppose you are playing a game. Is rolling a number cube a fair way to decide who goes first? Explain. Okay, so you're playing a game. Okay, so this is question 4. Oopsie. Go back to the pen. This is number 4. Is rolling a number cube a fair way to figure out who starts the game? Well, does it say how many players? Okay. First of all, the answer is yes and no. Let's say you have 2 players, okay? Okay, and one is Banujan. Sorry. 1 is Anbu. So here are the outcomes. Eraser. Oh, they do have different colors. Okay, so Anbu is playing against Banujan, and they want to figure out who goes first. So if they decide Banujan goes first, if he gets 1, 2, 3, and Anbu goes first if he gets 4, 5, 6, that's perfectly fair. 3 chances here. You can get goofy and say, how about if Anbu goes first if it's an odd number, 1, 3, or 5. Banujan goes first if it's an even number, 2, 4, or 6. It's a fair way to start the game because Anbu still has 3 chances and Banujan still has 3 chances. All right, so that's one fair way you can do it. I mean, it's not fair if you say, okay, Anbu, you go first if you roll a 1. Every other number, Banujan goes first. That's not fair. That's really not fair. Okay, let's say you have 6 people. Okay, and I'm gonna, here's person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And you say to person 1, if you roll a 1, you get to go first. Person 2, if you roll a 2, you get to go first. Person 3, if you roll a 3, you get to go first. Person 4, if you roll a 4, you get to go first. Person 5, if you roll a 5, you get to go first. Person 6, if you roll a 6, you get to go first. This is fair. Everyone has an equal chance, okay? And that word equal is very important. Now, I can show you an example where it's not fair. What if you had 4 people? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and here are, oh, let's go red. The dice will give you a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and a 6. Okay, so let's choose more colors. Okay, so we're going to say number 1, you get to go first if we roll a 1. Number 2, you get to go first if we roll a 2. Person number 3, you go first if you roll a 3. Person number 4, you go first if we roll a 4. Now, you can make it fair by just saying, okay, and if we roll 5 or 6, we just don't count it. Okay, if you say 5 and 6 doesn't count, then you still have a fair way of determining who gets to go first in the game. Everyone still has a 1 in 6 chance, and you just throw away the 5 and 6s if they show up. But let's say you don't figure that out. You can't just say, okay, 5, it goes to person number 1, 6, it goes to person number 2. Because then person 1 has 1, 2 chances. Person number 3 has got this single chance. It's not fair. So rolling a number cube can be very fair for a game, but it can also be unfair. So you have to think about how you're using that number cube. All right, so I would just need to print a bit more to go along so that I explain nicely. All right, and that was a great question. Questions 3 and 4 on page 418. Thank you to the student who gave me that wonderful question to start. Is it still morning time? Yes, it's still morning time. All right, so I will post this video. I hope you've enjoyed. Probability with Mr. V. Okay, tot ziens. Oh, I'm learning Dutch, so this is how you say bye in Dutch. It's not toodles. It was pretty close. Tot ziens.